After 5 years, she asked me if we could just be friends. It was a sunny afternoon when she said it, like the weather didn't get the memo that my world was caving in. Her words were calm, even kind, but to me, they landed like a punch I didn't see coming. I agreed without hesitation. I smiled, nodded, even joked, "Of course, we'll always be friends." It was automatic, my defense mechanism kicking in. She smiled back, relieved, and just like that, 5 years of love were downgraded to friendship in a 15-second conversation. But the truth is, I only agreed right up until the moment she introduced me to him. His name was Daniel. She said it casually, but her eyes gave it away. They sparkled when she talked about him. Suddenly, I was a friend she confided in about another man. The stories I used to be a part of, the memories we shared, were now being overwritten with new ones that didn't include me. For 5 years, she had been my world. We grew up together, went through college, built dreams on park benches and late-night calls. I knew her favorite songs, the way she bit her lip when she was anxious, how she couldn't sleep without the sound of rain. But somewhere along the line, I stopped being enough. The weeks that followed were torture, disguised as kindness. She still texted me. She still called. But every conversation was hollow. I became her emotional crutch while she built a new life with him. I listened to her gush about how thoughtful Daniel was, how he surprised her with tickets to a concert. I laughed at her jokes. I played along, until I couldn't anymore. One night, she called me at 1 a.m., crying. Daniel had hurt her, not physically, but with words. He had accused her of still having feelings for me. The irony was bitter. I stayed on the phone with her for hours, comforting her, patching her up, knowing full well I was the very person tearing her apart. That night, after she hung up, I realized something. I had become her safety net. I wasn't a person to her anymore. I was a fallback, a familiar face to ease her guilt. And that's when it hit me. I couldn't be just friends with someone I was still in love with. I started pulling away, slowly at first. Delayed replies, missed calls, excuses that I knew she would see through. But she didn't fight it. She let me drift, maybe because it was easier for her too. Maybe she wanted me to be the one to let go, so she wouldn't have to. But letting go wasn't as simple as deleting a contact or unfollowing an account. It was a grieving process. I mourned the version of us that would never exist. The future I had built in my head, gone. Then weeks later, something unexpected happened. She showed up at my door. Her face was different, not sad, not joyful, but lost. She said she had been thinking a lot about us, about everything we shared, and how empty it felt without it. For a fleeting second, hope flared inside me. But then she said it. "I miss you, but I don't think I love you the way you love me. And that's not fair to you." That sentence was both a dagger and a gift. For once, she was honest. No sugarcoating, no false hopes. And in her honesty, I found the closure I didn't know I was searching for. We stood there in silence for a moment. Then I smiled, a real one this time, and said, "Thank you." It wasn't the ending I wanted, but it was the ending I needed. I closed the door, not in anger, but in acceptance. From that day, I focused on myself. I rebuilt pieces of me that had been too wrapped up in her shadow. I traveled, met new people, explored passions I'd shelved for someday. It wasn't easy. Healing rarely is, but it was real. And then, about a year later, I bumped into her again at a coffee shop. She was alone, reading. We exchanged polite smiles, a nod of shared history. That was all. And you know what? It didn't hurt. I realized then that loving someone doesn't always mean you're meant to be with them. Sometimes, loving someone is about learning to let them go, and in doing so, finding yourself again. So yes, after 5 years, she asked me if we could just be friends. I agreed without hesitation, right up until I learned that sometimes just friends is the most painful lie we tell ourselves. But from that lie, I found my truth, and that was the real happy ending.